right, TNA recap in just a second, but we'll start with the news of, I guess, the higher-ups in Anthem have decided to get rid of Scott Damore. Does this pain you?
No, with the booking I've seen so far, no.
I remember when I first said, "Hey, we're gonna start wrestling podcast back up. Let's go the TNA route." And one of the first things you said is, "Scott Damore still there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, he's been there. What has he been on and off for like 10,
For a
15
long
years or
time.
something?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, back
nothing
in the
great has
Team
happened.
Canada. No, like I said, if it's been a good match, it's been because the wrestlers pulled one out of it. It wasn't because of any setup or anything like that.
No real concrete reason I can tell so far of why they got rid of him. I just hear bits and pieces, and I think it's hearsay as of right now. But kind of what the main thing I would say that you're hearing is he kind of feels like they were starting to get on a roll, and he wanted to up the budget. He's tried to do this before, and they've said
Yeah.
no. And if that is the case, then he might as well get out anyway, because if they're not going to raise the budget on this, I mean, they're already in small arenas, small crowds. I mean, the crowd. This show, I will say, the crowd wasn't as hot as previous weeks.
Oh God, no.
I mean,
There
they
was
were.
some dead.
Yeah, this definitely wasn't a hot crowd. But if they're not going to put any more money into this than what we see, it's probably time to get out, because there's got to be a handful of indies that draw more than this, right? I mean, without me looking, I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, the 12 things. Anytime they don't want to increase the budget, but they want to keep the same thing going, to me, that smells of we're going to sell this property pretty soon.
yeah, and please never to WWE, because they don't need the library. You
No,
know, it's a
no.
shame that they have as much of the a library that they do of the older stuff, and that WCW gave them all their stuff for nothing, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I don't know, they don't do it justice. So, but I don't know who's really taking over. They still have some. They still have some other wrestlers that I guess are in creative that could probably do just about the same thing, if not better. Because I mean, I think the one
Oh,
thing that's lacking here is creative. Like you just said off air, it's like the matches and stuff aren't so bad. It's everything around it. It's the promos or the storylines. It's just not hitting with you, and I think that's Damore. I think they said that he's kind of the be all end all. He approves everything, so
mhm.
that's on
Yeah.
him, I would
I don't.
say.
I don't know what. I'm not sure what I would do particularly that he's doing different. I mean, I'd make if you're gonna. The thing that got me is it happens a lot in pro wrestling, especially smaller ones where they go, hey, all of a sudden this little interference thing is a match. It's like, why? Explain why. Because no one gave a shit about seeing Diener against PCO.
Well,
You
speaking
know,
speaking of interference, let's get to the TNA recap. Chris Sabin wrestles John Schuyler. I don't even think they said this guy's name last week, so now we find out it's John Schuyler
yeah, yeah,
with Jason
yeah,
Hotch. Yeah, what'd you think about this? I mean, Sabin's always going to have a pretty solid match with whoever.
yeah. He's good. And like I said, it was watchable. It was fine.
Well, some
Nothing all that memorable
interference,
though.
some interference.
Yeah,
But in the end, Chris
yeah.
Sabin wins. I don't think the roster is like also. It's I don't think it's big enough to do a whole lot different either. I mean, you know what I mean, without running
No.
constant rematches and stuff. So maybe he was a little hamstrung, a little bit, not to, you know, totally shit on Damore, but
Yeah, yeah. Again, with the budget, if you can't attract even indie talent to even just refresh things every once in a while, you're not going to have much for very long.
Tasha Steeles, Zaya Brookside.
Yeah,
Any thoughts?
this one. My usual. I usually try to catch it when it's broadcast, and if barring that, I've got a source that I can watch it on. This one I caught while it was being broadcast, and about the only thing I can say for it is the TNA girls seem to know how to wrestle and put a match together as far as being smooth. There's a lot less botching or awkward crap than I've seen a lot of WWE matches. But beyond that, it's again they got the same thing going on. It's hey, it's a match, whoopity doo, and you got someone who's an asshole and someone who's a good guy. Yay! Seen it 100 times.
There was cheating, pulling of the tights.
Do what?
I said there was cheating, the pulling of the tights. That's how
Yes,
that
yes.
ended. So
Yeah, yeah. Clean is for some reason is verboten. You can't do it for some reason. Heel can't just be good enough to beat the good guy.
more Frankie Kazarian. He gets confronted by Jake something. Again, this is the stuff you would just like to see cut out or done better, correct?
Yeah, if it leads to something, but I doubt that it's going to.
Zachary
Especially if Damore
Wentz.
gone.
Yeah, Zachary Wentz, Mike Bailey. This, pretty good.
This one I thought was a pretty good match. On
Interference,
its
of
own, it was a
course.
pretty good match. Yeah, I said I didn't know who the hell Trent Seven was, but he came down, then Macklin came down, then it's and Nemeth. That it sounds like it. This is to me look like the good old. Hey, next week you guys are gonna have a 3-man tag match.
What I don't
So,
understand is like on any given week, TNA seems to like they do the same thing multiple times a show. Like if someone's gonna run in, they're gonna have multiple run-ins like all show. If there's gonna be interference, there's gonna be interference all show. They don't spread it out, not like once a show or anything. It seems like they get on with something and it's gonna be literally every match. That's
yeah,
weird to me. But anyway,
yeah,
Zach Wentz ends up beating Mike Bailey after the interference. And like you said, Nemeth, who needs to, I hate to say it, but he needs to be on multiple uh, segments, especially if you're going to put the system on multiple segments. Put Nemeth as long as he's there. He's the
uh
only guy that's really oozing,
yeah,
star to me.
yeah. He could elevate other people by being with them in some way besides run-ins.
We find out as Crazy Steve and Rhino. Rhino is angry. Do you
That's a new
care?
thing for Rhino.
Really showing another side to his character.
Yeah. He was perpetual. He had some jammed his ass sideways his entire career. He's pissed all the time. Yeah, and I don't know why. Other than he's perpetually angry, why is he pissed at Crazy Steve in the first place? Because it seems that a couple weeks ago with the promo, Steve was cut and Rhino came out and tried to knock it off. I don't get. Maybe I missed what went on before, but why is he pissed? You need to explain that. Besides Rhino just being perpetually pissed.
Yeah, I think they said that if you watched Explosion, you knew.
If
If only anyone did. Next match.
Here, watch this channel that isn't on very many cable systems, and then here, get online to watch the rest of it.
I think you have to have Impact Plus now. I don't even think it's on YouTube. I might be wrong, whatever. Next match,
Ugh.
big problems in my book with this match. Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans taking on Trinity and Jordan Grace. The heel team of Shaw and Evans, they bring down a guy, to interfere, believe it or not. It backfired. I don't know if Tony Khan called up Scott Damore and said, hey, if someone's leaving your company, book them strong.
Yeah.
How stupid is this? She's leaving. You took her in when the other guys didn't want her, made her a star, put the belt on her. She's now going back. So you have her not only, her team win, but her personally get the win. That's stupid to me.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah, it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. I didn't expect it to. I think this is just like, well, we still got her, so let's use her. You
Don't
know,
don't have her win.
they'll
You
have
know,
to
you
end
can
some.
have
They'll have to end
tights or
sometime.
tights, DQ, something. Not have her win by tap out. What does that do for the? I don't know. I guess it probably doesn't hurt it. It's TNA, whatever. But I'm just saying it doesn't make the other girl look good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why that pissed me off, but
The points are made up and nothing matters.
yeah.
Improv.
And then they said Giselle fired her associates. Whatever. That's fine. I might as well.
Meh.
Diener, he's not dead. We find out, even getting his neck snapped. So he's in the back, and here we go. Top Dollars in the back. And they're using him about as good as you can, to be honest. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you finally see the guy you said, what happened to Joe Hendry? Well, he's finally back. So, and this was a funny little segment that I don't know. I mean, Diener, was all cultish and scary, and now he's in, comedy routines just a couple weeks afterwards. So,
Yeah.
Khan video package to fire you up, man. Khan's the next big monster, don't you agree? No? Okay.
Fleet monster. The next Salmon X.
Squash two guys. Who comes out? Come on now. Who comes out? Who's doctors? And this is actually, this I actually liked because he didn't wait for the doctors to completely shock him back, to life or whatever. He met him at the table to where when he, raised up like the Undertaker, started beating on him. So I like that. As far as the 10-minute brawl, maybe it wasn't 10 minutes. Felt like an eternity. Again, TNA, the longest 2 hours in wrestling. It just, these two guys, it's just bad worked punches. Khan versus PCO, man. Like, please, if you, catch someone that won't talk about a murder, put him in front of this, He'll talk. Put it on a loop. He'll sing like a bird.
It was me. I kidnapped the Lindbergh baby.
You're right.
Back in 1933.
Good. I mean, am I wrong? It's just like two not very mobile dudes. Just, I don't know. Well, I mean, a PCO does hit the moonsault. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not poetry in motion. You know what I mean?
No. Nah, and if it was more brutal or something, or if they led to something worse, where they're really gonna screw each other up in a match, that might be worth doing. But just slappity, sluggity, smackity, who cares?
Alan Angels, owner of the worst wrestling talk show I've ever seen. That's saying something. Yeah. Taking on Josh Alexander. Any thoughts about this match? Attacked him before the bell is kind of what I liked, I think that made sense.
Yeah. And for the most part, it was, I get tired of the faces being so gullible all the time. Being a good guy doesn't mean you have to be stupid. And they keep falling for every stupid, tired heel trick, dumb distractions, or, they turn their back on the guy. It's like, quit, stop doing that.
How big?
I know he's a weasel and everything, but he's already shown he's kind of treacherous, so don't give him an opening.
How big of a cool down off beating Will Ospreay is this?
It's gonna put him in suspended animation. He's gonna cool him off so much.
You're gonna deep freeze this guy.
Mm.
Hey, you just beat Will Ospreay, arguably having the best matches in the world. But now you got Alan Angels. And you're going to be attacked by Simon Gotch afterwards.
Yeah, that was kind of odd.
Yeah.
Kind of out of nowhere, but I'm surprised. I'm surprised he still has the handlebar mustache, and he's still got this. Did he own the Simon Gotch name? Because that's usually the kind of thing WWE's like, no, that's ours. Go figure something else out.
Was he Simon Gotch in WWE?
Yeah, for the vaudevillains.
Oh, was he? I don't. Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the vaudevillain guys,
Yeah, and
which is a
Aiden English or
weird
whatever.
gimmick anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and the other dude that's married to Guerrero's kid.
Yeah. And who who's
Remember
the,
his name?
who's the announcer for TNA? He does the color commentary.
The guy that sounds like um, Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
You're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I thought it was when I first tuned in. Like, oh fuck, is Disco on this? I don't know if I want to watch it.
Oh man, I see. He can't be hired by anybody. But yeah, I forget his real name for some reason. But Aiden English, the guy that used to like randomly sing opera or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's him.
Yeah, he's the color commentator. I forget his
Um,
shoot name for whatever reason. But
yeah, I don't know, but he's yeah.
wow.
He reminds me of a Disco Inferno verbally, in my ear, and I'm like, oh god, shut up. And he does the stupid heel and I hate heel announcer shit anymore because it's not done well.
Well, I actually have grown to love Nigel McGuinness on Collision.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
god. Fucking all
he does it well.
and he's British, so you know that helps, right?
Yeah.
But especially during a Brian Danielson match, oh my god, he's
Oh,
just perfect, dude.
yeah.
Perfect.
Speaking of which, just to veer off for a second, did you see the Brian Danielson Hechicero match?
Yes, awesome.
That that was
Oh,
really good.
that was awesome. And I had never seen Hechicero before. I'd never seen that guy.
No, I
But
didn't either.
his hands are like the size of skillets still. Did you notice that? I don't know if I was like, man, he
For a
didn't
lucha guy,
seem
he's pretty hefty.
yeah. And he did topes, and of course they all do. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
telling you, there's so many lucha libre wrestlers you have no clue who they are or where they came from. They're awesome, just
yeah,
top of the food chain, awesome. But yeah, that match was great, dude. That
yeah.
my god. But what
Yeah.
I love about that,
But anyway,
but yeah, well,
anyway.
just real quick though, what I love about that is the Nigel McGuinness thing. He, Brian Danielson does the surfboard stretch, and Nigel McGuinness goes, SOS, same old shit, right? That's what he was getting
Well,
at, right?
shit. Yeah.
And then Cesaro does it, and he goes, "Oh, this is awesome!" And Tony Schiavone goes, "Didn't we just see this?" And he's like, "Great maneuver." I mean, that's great. It's
Yeah.
because when you're at that point, even if you have kind of a stale match, you still tune in to hear what he's gonna say, and that's
Yeah.
and that's
Like
kind of like King and JR stuff, like from back in the day when you can.
or like Heenan.
Yes, exactly.
Heenan would be like even if it's a crap match, he'll make it entertaining by just talking over it.
Heenan's still my favorite of all time. I think
Yeah.
with color, just amazing.
I cannot find. There was one where Lou Ferrigno was at a WrestleMania or some kind of pay per view, and he sat there and cut a promo or something, and Heenan says, "I couldn't understand the word he said. He sounded like he was eating crackers."
No, that
I was like,
very true.
"Holy shit!" I can't find that online anywhere. That is one of the most hilarious things ever.
Ash by Elegance, still
Ugh.
still promos. You're still getting excited. I know.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
Main events. Eddie Edwards of the System again. Man, the System such a bad little group of guys. Just
Yeah.
such
They make. I don't see the sense in them.
it just I don't know. And Eddie Edwards, I have no room to talk, but it looks like he's let himself go just a tad. Maybe that's why he's got the shirt on.
Yeah. He's gotten a little beefier since I saw him with was it the Wolves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in those days. He's gotten a little beefier.
A little
But
beefier.
saying all that too, this was a pretty good match too. They really and they again, I don't know if he's got really strong legs, but again, they were working on his legs a lot. Alex Shelley was working his legs over a lot in this match, and it didn't really come to much of anything.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes matches will do that just to fill time,
Yeah,
and that's annoying. You know what I mean? Because
yeah. It's like you think it's going to build to something. You're building a little bit of a story there, and it's just like, no, I'm just beating the shit out of his legs, and it doesn't seem to do anything.
you gotta love a good roll up for a win, though, right?
No, I do not.
No, I hate that.
It's just it's a tired maneuver.
Like, stop. I mean, it just ruins it. I don't care who won after that. I really don't.
No,
Either way, don't care. But Alex Shelley defeats Eddie Edwards, which that's the right call. I think Shelley is more the star at this point. Of
right.
course, Brian Myers immediately gets in there. Kushida's out there. Kevin Knight does a good dive to the outside.
Yep. And again, smells like another three man tag match set up if they want it. But it's just practically the same situation as before with Nemeth and Macklin and all those dudes.
Overall, what'd you give this episode? I think we're still trudging downhill now since the relaunch.
Like I said, there was again decent matches. I'd give it a if I'm giving it the old Meltzer, I'll take 2 stars. Maybe it was entertaining enough as far as the matches went, but the rest of the crap I could do without.
See, and we really don't review some of the backstage stuff because it's just so menial. It's not good. It's just pointless.
No,
So I kind of
well,
skim over that.
it's retread. It's stuff you've seen before for the most part. Like I said, I wish the Hendry thing. I'll have to try to see if I can find the Hendry thing on to see how it was. Like I said, his video segment with the Cheez It champion that actually made me laugh. So
Yeah,
if that's a good funny gimmick where you can edit some videos together to basically cut the promo for you, that's not a bad change of pace.
it was a funny segment.
Yeah,
Worth
I'll see if
watching.
I can find it.
Wrestler of the week, mine goes to PCO.
The boat anchor,
Yeah. Who do you got?
the human boat anchor. Well, and I was impressed with the speedball. Is that his name, Bailey?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, him, and of course Kevin Knight the last time. The two guys are got potential. And again, I don't know why we're not. I guess they don't have a lot of X Division high flyers floating around, so that's why they're downplaying that a little bit.
They were
But
really
those
hyping
two,
up their partnership with AAA on that pay-per-view. Maybe bring a couple of them boys in.
shoot, yeah, just hey, come up here and stay a month and work a program and go away, come back in another month. It's something. Just break it up because it seems like we're seeing the same people every week
But like you
to
said,
some degree.
that X Division, what was there? That 6-man scramble match, and then nothing since, right? Or am I
Right.
forgetting anything? I'm pretty sure nothing since.
Mhm. Yeah, nothing to speak of. They haven't even mentioned it as an X Division match. The only thing the X Division they've mentioned was what's her name? Giselle Shaw got it in a women's X Division match, and apparently they're still letting you use that as a ticket to get a title shot, which I think is a good idea. But other than that, they don't even talk about it. Like I said, that was their bread and butter for the longest time.
Next week, ABC Grizzled Young Vets in match 2. G, who will win that? Moose
Mm.
and Kushida, and then your boy Rhino taking on Crazy Steve.
Rhino.
Man, what will happen?
But is this strictly going to be uh, on Impact or whatever? Or is this going to be Explosion? Because I know the Crazy Steve
No, I think it.
Rhino thing happened on it.
Yeah, no, I think they're switching it to the Big Show now. For the digital
Huh.
media title championship, internet, blue light, AOL disc.
Blue Lights, the Blue Light Special belt.
Come on. How TNA sounding is that? Like,
Yeah.
my goodness.
I'm waiting for you to put something on the poll.